Whether it's a third grader going up against the class bully, or armies clashing in the battlefield, winning means being a step ahead. But in a world of technology where having the better weapon does not necessarily guarantee victory, how far are militaries willing to go to have the upper hand? Turns out, pretty far. From hazardous forts on mountaintops and impenetrable underground bunkers, to remote man-made islands at sea and untraceable laboratories researching the most dangerous pathogens in existence, countries today go the extra mile to stay a step ahead. What are some of these places? Are you curious? So are we, because some of them would make you jump with surprise. Area 51. Along a dusty, unmarked road in the Nevada desert sits a gate with a chain-link fence, a boom gate, and intimidating trespassing signs. What's so special about it, you ask? Well, try to enter and you'll probably find a camouflaged soldier pointing a gun to your head before you can put your hands up. Sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? Such is the security of America's top secret military base, Area 51. What's hidden away in there? Pop culture says it's aliens. Ever since its inception, Area 51 has maintained a measure of mystery caused by bizarre lights twinkling strangely in the surrounding skies, fueling rumours of UFOs and alien testing in this uncharted, vast region. Some even say that the moon landing was filmed by the US government in this base. So, the question is, what is the mystery behind this legend? Well, it may not be aliens, but it's just as interesting. In the 1950s, during the Cold War, low-flying US spy planes over the USSR were at risk of being shot down. So in 1954, President Eisenhower approved the secret development of the U-2 aircraft, which could fly far above the watchful eyes of the Soviets. The government soon began to search for a testing and training site for the U-2 program, and set its eyes on an old World War II aerial gunnery range near a salt flat known as Groom Lake. On the map, this was designated as Area 51. This was a time when commercial aircrafts flew at heights between 10 and 20,000 feet, and military aircrafts at a maximum of 40,000 feet. So, when the newly developed U-2 flew at unheard altitudes of above 60,000 feet during its tests, people were shocked to spot something so foreign and unbelievable. Naturally, reports of UFO sightings started pouring in, but since Air Force officials were sworn to secrecy, the rumours grew into legends, and the base acquired near-mythical status of being a military base with an alien presence. But rumours apart, Area 51 is where some of the most advanced air technology has been developed for the American Air Force and military. After the U-2, the SR-71 Blackbird, Lockheed D-21, HAV Blue, and F-117 aircraft prototypes have all been developed and tested here. But for the most part, the secrets, mystery, and fascination remain. Indeed, it's no real surprise that millions responded to a Facebook post in June 2019 to raid Area 51 and go, "See them aliens!" Kapustin Yar. The United States is not the only one with a top-secret military base with rumours of alien presence. Kapustin Yar is Russia's very own Area 51. The legend of the base is laden with tales of extraterrestrial intelligence spun beyond belief. Originally created by the USSR for developing the Soviet space program, the military base became mired in accounts of incredibly detailed and elaborate alien sightings. Some even claim that the Soviet military force had clashed against extraterrestrial presence in this very vicinity in 1948, and a MiG fighter had managed to shoot down a UFO. Its remains were taken by the military and moved to an underground facility deep below Kapustin Yar. There, the ship was reverse-engineered by Soviet rocket scientists, possibly for the benefit of the Soviet space program, which, incidentally, commenced soon afterwards. In 1991, a declassified KGB document revealed that 7 military personnel at Kapustin Yar had witnessed a UFO hovering over the rocket weapons depot and successfully evaded any aircraft which tried to come near it. In 1992, Colonel Marina Popovich, wife of the then head of the Soviet Union Committee on UFOs, stated that 3 cigar-shaped flying saucers and a group of fireballs attacked Kapustin Yar and destroyed the launching pads and sites of ballistic and intercontinental missiles. Fearing retribution from the Soviet military command and the KGB, Colonel Popovich refrained from revealing the origin of the flying saucers. She admitted that the Soviet Union had fragments from the wreckages of 2 UFOs that had crashed over Estonia and Dalnogorsk. Whether true or not, the Kapustin Yar military base has been an enigma in recent decades. Porton Down. During World War I, in the Battle of Ypres, Belgium, in 1915, which was fought between Germany and the Allied powers, clouds of poisonous chlorine gas filled the air in the Allied trenches. It reacted with the water in the lungs of the 800 soldiers unlucky enough to inhale it, and produced hydrochloric acid. The burns that followed resulted in horrifyingly painful deaths. Angered by the use of such a weapon, Britain's Secretary of State for War, Lord Kitchener, immediately ordered the creation of a chemical weapon research facility called the War Department Experimental Research Ground, Porton. And thus was born Porton Down, based 5 miles outside Salisbury in Wiltshire, England. After designing the gas masks for the First World War in July 1915, Porton Down went on to counter the Soviet Union's nerve agent, sarin gas, with its own nerve gas, called the venomous Agent X, which is several times more toxic. Just a pinhead-sized drop on the skin is enough to kill a man. At its peak, Porton Down was notorious for using a number of human volunteers or guinea pigs for this research. Since 1916, over 20,000 people have taken part in studies at the base. In 1953, after one of the sarin study volunteers, serviceman Ronald Madison, lost his life after being exposed to sarin gas, the authorities engaged in one of the biggest cover-ups of the Cold War. It was only in 2004 that a court ruled that Ronald Madison was killed unlawfully, and his family received a compensation of £100,000 from the Ministry of Defence. Today, Porton Down's laboratories divide their time between researching the world's most dangerous pathogens, Ebola, plague and anthrax among others, that can wipe us off the face of this planet, and assisting the armed forces with technical know-how of improvised explosive devices and ballistics. The work carried on in this secretive base has given the military a better understanding of how to defend against chemical and explosive attacks, though it has certainly come at a big financial cost. South China Sea bases, where China has established outposts near the Spratly Islands. Located in a disputed no-man's territory, their primary purpose is not military power projection and the deployment of weapons, but information power. The concept of information power is not about studying demographics, hacking social media, influencing people, or spinning the narrative of a conflict, but about knowing the battlefield. This is preserving information for one's own weapons, while simultaneously denying any and all information to the adversary. The outposts are now hardened military bases that give China de facto control of what it regards as its waters. What we do know is that a few years ago there were just reefs in shallow water near the Spratly Islands, and now there are bases which are nothing short of man-made land masses. Pine Gap. Initially christened for space research in 1966 in the throes of the Cold War, Pine Gap directed its resources to the War on Terror in 2001. Its location, which is approximately 18 kilometres southwest of Alice Springs in the centre of Australia, is strategically significant, since it controls United States spy satellites as they pass over 1/3 of the globe, including China, the Asian parts of Russia, and the Middle East. The station is partly run by the US Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the US National Security Agency, the NSA, and the US National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO. Operations at Pine Gap have always been a closely guarded secret. From the remoteness of its location to the closed ranks around what takes place there, it even has a secret room where no Australians are allowed to enter. The facilities at the base consist of a humongous computer complex and 38 radomes protecting radio dishes. The ground control is a processing station for geosynchronous satellites engaged in signals intelligence collection. It has been active in supporting every US war since the 9/11 attacks. In popular culture, there's even a show on a platform based on what life is like inside Pine Gap. What do you think? Is there more to these military bases that meets the eye? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.